What on earth is going on? Europa, European, I'm about to say Europa, European Super League has reared its ugly head and turned the world upside down. Don't underestimate how big this is. And tonight we're going to talk about it because this could be the beginning of the end. Welcome to United Source and Wingers. I'm Dominic. Let's do this. Welcome to United Source and Wingers. How's it going, Sean? How you doing, man?
What the hell is going on, bro?
Mate,
what the hell is going on?
I don't even know where to start. I've been doing so much reading, trying to understand. This is taken the world by storm. This is so big. This is huge. And I want to make sure people actually understand the gravity of what potentially could happen, because this is huge, Sean. This is something that, to say that we lived through when this came out, this announcement came out, is huge. Huge. The whole game of football could be turned upside down, completely and utterly upside down. People are outraged, and this is the first time, no matter what kit you wear, no matter what song you sing, no matter who you support, everybody is together in this. Everybody is together because this is going to affect the players, the fans, and most importantly, the fans. This is going to affect the livelihood of so many different people as well, because I can see pundits squirming a bit, thinking, wait a minute, am I going to lose my job? Because this is going to have waves across the whole of the football world, Sean. It's absolutely huge. How are you feeling about this, man? Because I really want to get into the depths of this and figure out, is this actually going to happen? Or are we taking this too strong?
Like I said last night, I don't see it happening. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see it going any further, really, in terms of the chance of it coming to fruition. But the fact that we're even having this conversation, the fact that it's got to this point, for me, is already way too far. And it just says a lot about the state of the game and how we've got to this point. And like I said to you yesterday, right, it's leaving a very sour taste in the mouth. And like I said, I'm starting to fall out of love with it, bro. And it's a shame that it's got to this point. You know, all the things that are underpinning it and driving it, the motives, you know, the greed, the selfishness, the ruthlessness, the callousness, the lack of understanding, the disrespect. Bro, I could go on, and we'll get into it. But for me, it's the behavior of the people with the power and what they're choosing to do with it is the big problem. But like I said, ultimately, I think it will get shut down. And I think a compromise will obviously will need to be reached. But you know, it's really ugly, bro. It's really ugly.
It really is, guys. Thank you for showing so much. I see you, Carl, Kliss, Kel, Vides, Robbie. Thank you so much for joining live. RIP European Super League. Oh my gosh, seriously, this is something that this has been in the works for a long time in terms of years. We've heard murmurs of this,
Yeah,
and then we heard the murmurs of obviously the restructure of the Champions League, how they're going to do a different setup. But when we first heard it yesterday, and we were like, okay, we've heard rumors about it, and then we were waiting for the announcement. It got pushed back to like 10:30, and all of a sudden, all the Twitter accounts of these big multi-billion-dollar clubs started tweeting out the same copy and paste word account, whatever you want to talk about, saying that we are joining the European Super League. Now, I just want to just clarify to everybody here, if there's some people out there thinking, okay, well, it might be okay because it's going to be great to watch these big Galacticos play. We've seen Joel Glazer come out and say, "Oh, it's fantastic for the game. It's like Space Jam. Like you're not little rubbish Looney Tunes. You're the big aliens who drink the juice, right, and get all the powers. You're going to be watching these unbelievable basketball players at the top of their game. Fantastic. Kane playing Messi and all this. Don't buy it. Do not buy it for 1 second, because The whole reason we watch football is for the dreams of what can happen, who can beat who. Like someone came out and said recently, Sean, that it's becoming boring watching Champions League games because it's just a given. I'm sorry, no one thought that we were gonna lose to Başakşehir. Do you know what I mean? No one saw that coming. No one sees like how Porto got so far how they did. Do you know what I mean? Porto, you're having a laugh. No one thought that Bayern Munich will get knocked out by PSG with the run they've had. This is what it is. This is what creates headlines, creates the atmosphere. And if we go into this new system of playing football, I'm honestly worried. I'm honestly worried for what football's going to look like for our kids that have got us through so many different times, that have keeping people out of trouble, where if they're in trouble, they look to football, they look to grassroots football, they look to that passion and that sporting merit that made the game so powerful. If we lose that, what have we got? What have we got? Just a league where no one gets relegated. They get 400 million just for signing up. If you win the Champions League, you only get 100 million. You get 100 million, so you're getting 400 million. You know what's going to do, Sean? That's going to inflate the player prices. So, for example, if you've got Arsenal getting 400 million, are you having a laugh? Arsenal getting 400 million means that they're going to start having to pay more for the players that they get because their people know they've got that money. They know they've got that money, so give me the money. Agents are going to have more power. They're going to be bigger agent fees. And guess what? The players are going to want bigger salaries too. They're going to want much bigger salaries. It's just we've entered the matrix, mate, and it's literally we've taken the what pills the pill that gives you all the truth. Is it the red one or the blue one, or it doesn't matter what pill you take?
Red, blue, it don't matter, man. We're already here. Mate, we're already here. Right? we're already here. The player salaries is partly what's got us to this position.
It is. Like, where do we go from here, Sean? If first of all, right, for me, I still don't think this is going to happen. But let's just say it does actually happen. Let's say they get through all the roadblocks. They're fine with because obviously UEFA have come out and said, look, you can't play in the World Cup, you can't play in the Euros, you can't play for Champions League, Europa, and Premier League. And the players and the clubs are like, yeah, fine, whatever. Say that it happens. Even Boris Johnson can't stop it, and even though he's come out and said the Prime Minister that I'm going to stop it. Say it does actually happen, Sean.
Yeah.
What happens then? People just going to stop watching Man United? What's going to happen? Because the Premier League's over, the Champions League's over. What actually happens,
bro? Well, yeah, I think a lot of fans will stop watching it because for me, like I said to you last night, that novelty of the champion, I think what they're missing is it's not basketball, right? Football's not basketball. It's not NFL. It's not all these American sports where they have this model of no relegation. What they're not factoring in is why football is the history, right? Football fans are passionate and we enjoy the sport because of the history, because of the tradition, because of the competition, because the Champions League is so coveted by fans and players because it's so difficult to win. Because of that competitive edge and that competitive nature. If you bring all of that together, yes, you're going to have a novelty factor for a season, or even it might even last that long. The first few weeks, there might be some fans, young generation fans, that are like, yeah, we enjoy this. We want to see Messi. We want to see the best playing against the best. But after a while, that is going to wear off because it's monotonous. It's week in, week out, and that novelty factor, that there is nothing else that becomes normal. And then like everything else, they're going to be looking in 5 years time. What can we do now? What's the next new thing? What new league we're going to create after that? So they missed the mark massively on that. And to be honest with you, I don't think they actually care about that because these are businessmen at the end of the day. And they do not care about football. They're not fans of football. The Glazers have not been to a Manchester United game in 2 years. So that tells you how much fans they are, right? So they don't care about all of that. They literally see this as a way to guarantee 400 million into the bank every year, win, lose, or draw.
It's a joke, mate. It's a joke.
And so for me, in terms of what happens, the impact is huge across the game, across the Premier League's done. Right, because the biggest draw and the biggest attraction has left. So the players, the impact on the players, the impact on the fans, that becomes a less attractive spectacle. TV money drops, salaries drop, and that trickles down right the way through the spectrum. So a lot of clubs will go out of business. So it has a massive impact on the domestic leagues. It has it across all of the leagues across Europe. Then you go to the national teams. Now what they're saying is, like you said, the players won't be able to represent their national clubs in competition.
It's huge.
Now, for me, that, like I said to you yesterday, no player is going to go for that. But the thing is, can they actually implement that? Now, FIFPro, which are the representation of all the professional footballers, are saying they're not happy with that, and they will challenge that. Despite what these clubs are trying to do, they don't think that the players should be used as pawns in that way. So there's a bit of an intermediary there, which is saying, look, we need to bring everyone together and have an open discussion around the table to find a solution that works for everybody. And ultimately, I think that is where it's going to come to. Both sides are going to have to come together and find a common ground, which is how this has pretty much come about. Is let's just cut through the BS. These clubs, the 12 clubs, I read somewhere earlier that over the year before COVID, so not like the last 12 months, the previous 12 months, they lost 1.2 billion combined, right?
They're struggling.
So they're struggling, and these guys that we said, they don't care about football. They've come into it as a business transaction. What business is going to be happy with an operating loss of 1.2 billion? No one's going to be happy with that. And they're running a business where they've got uncertainty and it's risk. Look at Man United, look at Arsenal. These clubs, right, who were once great, and when these overs took over, they were once great, success, money coming in, dominating the power forces of football, are no longer that. And what they're trying to do is eliminate that competition and that risk of the financial risk of not being in the Champions League every season, which is costing them. You can't run a business like that. So as businessmen, what are they trying to do? They're trying to find a solution which eliminates that problem. And they don't give a stuff who it impacts and what the implications are of it. And it's just wrong. It's on so many levels. And then you've got to look at how they've gone about doing it. The lies, the deceit, the deception. Bro, it's just disgusting. And I really haven't got anything really want to be associated with that.
Robbie said it here. Disgrace, disgusted if it does. Love football, love United, but won't watch a game ever again if it goes ahead. Could have been dealt so differently.
There you go.
You know when we talk about football, we talk about football and we're saying we're in a situation when we're like, oh yeah, no, the game's got so much money in it now, I know, but I still love football, and the players don't ask for these big wages. It's the environment and the industry they're in. Look, the money's a lot, but look, let's just concentrate on supporting our team. It's now all about the money. You can't hide. It's money, 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 money. I don't believe for 1 second, Sean, that this is to give the fans what they want, because the fans want to see the best players bear the best player.
It's crap. That's crap. They don't care about the fans. They do not care about the fans. So how can you come with that now and gloss it up and try to sell us? Bro, they're trying to sell us a lullaby, mate. I'm not having that. And no one should be buying this cobblers. It's not the
first time. I don't think anybody is. I've not seen anybody on Twitter. If you've seen anybody on Twitter go, yeah, fantastic, it will probably only be an Arsenal fan, because Arsenal should be nowhere near this competition, right? And they need the money big time. This is probably going to bring them back. How are Arsenal or Tottenham? What have Tottenham won? What have Tottenham won? How are they going to be handed 400 million and say, come on, play with the best footballers in the world, guaranteed, no relegation, no... What makes you wake up in the morning? Like, it is so heartless. Like the emotion, the romance of the game. Look, we saw little things come in. When we started off Sky Sports, they did it and they were like, okay, cool, we got it. And I was like, yeah, Sky Sports, all good. All of a sudden, BT Sport came out of nowhere and people were like, oh, new studio, new characters, new personalities, even new graphics. Everybody was having a great time with that interactive pen, right? We loved it. But we could see it. We could see something was going on. BT Sport, I thought they'd do mobile phone, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Amazon Prime comes out of nowhere. People were like, wait a minute, I buy kettles from Amazon. Why am I going to watch it on Amazon Prime? People are starting to realize that you draw people and organizations, these massive multi-million organizations, to where the money is.
Yeah.
Where the money is. And all of a sudden, we've taken out the most important part of the game is actually playing football games. Where's VAR come out? VAR was never, ever a thing because you know what? Sometimes it's a red card, sometimes it's not. That was the beauty of the game. Do you know what I mean? When it went your way, you're like, oh, sorry, mate, see you later. But when it didn't go your way, you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? That's the beauty of the game. The football world is being digitalized. It's digital. And that's why I keep saying, welcome to the Matrix. You've taken the pill and now you know the truth. It's not all happy. It's not the woman with the red dress that you see. You're like, wait a minute, is this not real food? Mate, this is what football is now. It's been laid bare. They've opened the curtains and you've seen behind the curtain of what's happening in football. This is what it is. It's a machine that all they care about is the money. They're going to make this into entertainment where halftime you're going to have flicking cheerleaders going, hey, ho, Manchester United, yeah, hurrah. This honestly, popcorn, you're going to have popcorn flying off.
Honestly, bro, you did that impression a little bit too well, man. You've done that before, mate. You've done that before, eh?
You're gonna get people going, hot dogs, get your hot dogs. Like,
nah, man. It's not. We can't let this. This can't happen. This can't happen to our game. These Americans, what are they trying to do?
Mate,
it's unbelievable.
The Premier League is to blame for this. You allow these mercenaries to take over the clubs and do what they want without relegating them. Now you want to be shocked that they've turned their back on you.
That's the big point, right? The Premier League is almost a victim of its own success.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, it's a victim of its own success. It's attracted all of these billionaire owners to the club, and now they've become more. Well, they think they're in a position where they're more powerful than the league itself, and. Bro, we'll have to see how it's going to pan out. I don't think they're quite there yet, but the fact that they've got enough power to even put the league in this position, it's unbelievable. And that it needs to. Gary Neville's right. They need, or the football, it needs independent regulation.
Yeah, it does.
Because these guys want to go out and create a league and govern themselves. The arrogance. What?
Mate,
how do you do that?
Did too. I would bring in Adam in a second. My man Adam. I would bring in a second, but. Sean, this is actually turned into the Hunger Games. You know, when you got different sections, right? You keep going up the tiers, you get the great section where they got lovely food, they're dressing lovely, and you keep going down that train, and every time you keep going further down, it's just there's no money. There's no money. Welcome to Hunger Games, mate. You've got the Elite Super League, the Super League where it's all fun and games, guaranteed money, living your life, got islands for jokes. And then you go down to the Championship, which has been completely stripped of any. What's the point? What is the point? Norwich have been promoted, Sean. Promoted. Yeah, no one cares. Yeah, Sheffield United's been demoted. No one cares.
No one's talking about it.
Liverpool probably not going to make Champions League. Doesn't matter anymore. They're going to go Super League. Everything we've done over the season means nothing. We beat Burnley yesterday 3-1. We're cemented second. We're 8 points away from Man City.
It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. It's not even just this season. It's the whole history of football. Forget about it. The whole history of the European football, English Premier League football, Champions League football, all the leagues. Once these teams leave, in terms of your club, what does it mean? You saw Sir Alex's statement earlier today.
Oh yeah, right? He's not happy. He's not happy, man.
Because it undermines the whole premise of what our game is about. And these dumb cronies, they haven't got a clue, mate. You know, they're good businessmen, but what they're doing and what they're proposing to do, it's heartless, it's gutless.
Yeah.
There's nothing positive about it. Yeah, nothing.
I know. It's true. Guys, thank you so much for joining live. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new. We're going to bring in my man Adam into the house. Adam, how's it going, brother?
What's up, guys? How are you? Hi, Sean. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Adam? You good?
Yes. Well, good. I suppose so.
Oh man,
good as can be, mate. Adam, thanks for coming on, bro. Mate, we're talking everything European Super League, mate. Also known as the ESL, also known as the Matrix, also known as Hunger Games FC. So we're in a situation where I'm looking at these comments here, and my man Clist is such a good guy. He's talking about these different comments here, and we've got a new UEFA meeting will take place the next day. There'll be a motion to formally expel MUFC. Obviously, Man United, Arsenal from Europa League, and Man City, Chelsea, and Real Madrid from the Champions League. That is crazy. Like Riot is saying, I'm not trusting any league that has Dan Kroenke and Joel Glazer chairman. Makes me sick thinking about it. I love this, right? Because we were having the Glazer effect. Manchester United were always thinking, oh my God, the Glazers. Now the whole football world is being affected by Glazers. It's like a virus. Robbie Hodges, how much will it cost to watch a single game now? Half won't be in England, will cost you thousands. Utter joke. Wake me up from this nightmare. It's crazy. My interest in football will go away in a few years. I can't believe this is going through. I really lost the love of football. It's slowly dying with the when there's no fans in the grounds. I'm gonna try and force myself to watch football, but I think I'm done with that chapter of my life. Wow,
It's real. It's real.
Family, how many parents can take their kid to watch team play? It's big time.
People
big
are just
time.
not getting it.
Like this is massive. This is a huge. Digo Rank says the club rang me the other day and asked me what I thought about the direction the club was going in. I now realize they were very sneaky. Interesting. Adam, talk to me, man. Like this is blown out of nowhere. I didn't go to bed till 2 p.m. yesterday. I was on the football terrace, just having it out. How do you feel? First of all, how do you feel? Do you feel like it's actually going to happen? Because I feel like it's too big to happen. But how do you feel? Do you feel like it's going to happen? And where do we go from there, bro?
I think it might happen just because I believe the plan they have has been mapped and worked out till the very end. And I don't think if they oppose it, for example, and they believe they expel clubs from domestic leagues, I think the plan is to make it like an NHL, an NFL, or an NBA, and to make it a 30 teams or 20 in this case, and to make it a closed circle that is the elite of football that will be exactly like the NHL.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you know, I live in Quebec, I live in Canada, so I know American sports. I don't really enjoy them. I'm a football fan first and foremost, but I'm quite familiar with that pattern, with that scheme of things, and it looks everything in this is American from top to bottom. I think in the statement they put out, they divided the 20 teams in 2 blocks of 10 teams, and the first 4 qualifies, and they're just it will be like the playoffs. It will be a playoffs, and it will be the best out of 3 games instead of the best out of 7, like they do in the NBA and in the NHL. And I think the plan they have is very, very much in place, regardless of what happens, to make it to the very end. I think they are going with it very, very strong.
So you actually think it's going to happen?
I don't think it's going to happen, but I think what happened, and my dad wrote a text on the fan forum, and I'll send it to you, and maybe if you read it later or whatever. But I think the FA and the FIFA and the UEFA are the victim of their own greed, and they've just found greedier people.
Yeah.
And I think the main problem is in this, and of course, I think it's very, very interesting and it's disgraceful. But then I think it all started when they started sharing the revenues in the Premier League within the TVs, the provider TV. I don't know the deal that make it every team in the Premier League received around the same.
It was around the same amount, maybe a little bit more to some of the big teams, but it wasn't like Manchester United gets 60% or whatever. It was quite even
across all the Premier League teams.
Yeah.
And I think that is the starting point, because I do not agree with it. But if you are Manchester United, and if you are Liverpool, if you are Arsenal, big clubs, regardless of the position in the league, you are generating so much views and so much money, and that money is being shared across the entire 20 Premier League teams. And then when you try to go to Leicester and buy a centre half, they sell it to you for £8 million. I'm okay with the team being more competitive. I'm okay with that. And I'm okay that you need competent people, good recruitment, good managers to win, and still we are richer than the others. But from those American owners' perspective, the fact that that money is being shared that way, it is unacceptable for them. And there's a difference. And this is what my father just said to me before I came in. There's a difference between equality and equity. I know it in French. I don't know it in English, but equity, yeah. So it is equally shared, but it's not fair.
Oh, sorry, equality. So equality.
Yeah, maybe just correct me on that, because I'm not sure But there's a difference between sharing equally against for all teams, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I believe that's the main issue they have. And if, for example, they get banned from the Champions League and the Premier League and La Liga and the Serie A, they will make it that 20 teams league, and they will make it like the NBA, like the NHL. They will make playoffs. You won't be able to buy players anymore, because you don't buy players in the NHL and the NFL. You trade players. So that inflation we were talking about earlier about, for example, if Arsenal get 400 million, people know they have that money, so they will ask for more for ex players. You won't be able to buy players. It would switch. They will have a salary cap, and they will make it exactly like the model.
So wait, so you're saying
you can't do that. That's different in Europe. They've tried that salary cap. That they can't do it. They can't enforce that.
You can make salary cap when the leagues are open, like they are in Europe right now. But if you make it a closed circuit, like with only 20 teams, then it's different.
No, because it goes against a human. It's I think it was something to do with the human rights. You can't put a restriction on people's earnings. You can't do that.
Yeah, but how they do
it's a free economy.
How they doing it in the US then?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how they do it in the US, but I know over here in Europe we have different laws.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think maybe we'll do some more research about this, because I'll try to figure out to myself.
The salary cap thing is, for example, you have 85 million for a season for the salary, for example. So you can't be having a player on 600k a week.
Yeah.
If it goes past that 80 million.
Oh, the cumulative.
There's a budget.
Yeah, it's a cumulative salary, not per person. It's how much can we afford? Well, it's basically how clubs should be run anyway. Like you have a salary. It's like when you're playing FIFA. You have a salary budget, and you got to spread it out evenly. You can't get that. You know what though? It's so crazy. This is so mental, because I still don't believe this is actually going to happen, because the ramifications are too big. Yes. I know they got a new website. It looks all flashy, nice writing, bold, Calibri font, whatever you want to call it. It looks fantastic, great. I know they've got all the team tweeting out that they're a part of it. We got the statement, but I just can't see it happening, lads. Because if it happens, literally, the Premier League is over, the Champions League is over. Even the World Cup Euros is over.
Yes. Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Just to make sure, I think the plan they have is they have the plan is in place to make it happen. I personally don't believe it will happen.
But Adam, so what's the plan that in this plan that they've got, right? Because I see that there's too many holes in it for me.
Yeah, I see a lot.
Because if the UEFA and FIFA, which they have the ability to do, ban the players from playing for their national sides, they can't counteract that. No player is going to go for that.
No players are going to go for that, but they still have the teams. So we'll have poor players, for example, playing for the big teams.
No, I'm saying for their national teams, for their countries.
Yes,
but they'll still have players that are not in those
No. What I'm saying is the players in the ESL. Yeah, of course, the national sides still have players to pick from. But I'm saying no player is going to sign up for a club that prevents them fulfilling their boyhood dream to represent their country.
I don't know about that, Sean, because if you're making money and you got to provide for your family, and you're going to say, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to move to a league I'm going to move to a team that's not in the ESL because I stand for it. Some people might, but I'll be honest with you, some people are like, look, this is my team. I've got to do what we've got to do.
Nah, Dom, I think you misunderstand. The pinnacle for any player is an international cap.
Yes,
that's the pinnacle.
I don't think so. I don't think it is anymore.
That's the pinnacle.
I don't think how do they get?
But the point is, but just say it is, right? Just say it still is.
Yeah, let's suppose
their plan doesn't. How does their plan counteract that?
No, what I said, Sean, is for example, we take Paul Pogba. He can't play for France, so he's going to play for a team, for example, outside of this European Super League.
Yeah.
What I said is that the owners, they have the club, so they will have players of quality that is not Paul Pogba quality. They will replace Pogba. They have the clubs. It doesn't matter what player they have in it. You want to see, for example, if Pogba wants to play for France, he doesn't want to play for Manchester United because we are in the Super League.
Yeah.
And let's suppose he signed for whatever club, Leicester.
Yeah.
And
Mbappe, PSG aren't a part of it, so that's fine. They'll still be able to have him.
Messi or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's suppose they take the decision of not playing for that club.
Yeah.
The problem we have is that we are in love not with the player but with institution. They still have AC Milan in the Super League, and they still have Manchester United. And at the end of the day, you will have poor quality players playing for those teams. You know what I mean? For example, if Casemiro, for example, refuses to play for Real Madrid and he goes and he plays for another team elsewhere, well, Real Madrid will get another player in that team that is not of Casemiro's quality. For example.
But then the model falls down because the quality drops, Therefore, you cannot command the same money. It's not going to command the same audience because we love the clubs. But the whole point that they're selling this on is the best playing the best. But if the best aren't there, then the model collapses.
Yeah, so yeah, I get the model collapses, but the way you say model collapses, I wouldn't say the model collapses. You still try and get the best players that are available. The model's still there.
No, but you're not getting the best. If you're not getting
no,
Cristiano Ronaldo is not going to give up playing for his country.
You get the best that's available, bro. If you think about it, with the World Cup, players get injured sometimes, right? So you have to call up other people that are the best of what's available. So it'll just be a different way of looking at it. If you've got people in the ESL that can't play for the national teams, you have to go for the next best available. So the model's still there, but the quality of the tournament's not as good. That's what it is. So
it's a contradiction. It's a walking contradiction.
How's that contradiction?
If you're selling us that this is going to be the best league with Messi playing Ronaldo week in, week out, and Messi and Ronaldo aren't in it, that is a contradiction.
Wait, are you talking about the ESL or the World Cup? Or
I'm talking about the ESL.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm saying that for this to work, they need to have the best players buy-in, and the whole commodity here. Football doesn't, the same way it doesn't work without fans, is the same way it doesn't work without players. So their plan, they have to have thought of a way to sell this idea to the players. You already heard Ander Herrera come out saying he's not happy about it, and I'm sure you go in, and I'm sure you go across this dressing room, and I'm sure 90% of the players feel the same way that we do about it. So the only appeal for them is the big salaries, but they're already on hundreds of £1,000s a week. They're more than comfortable. The idea of playing for their country at the highest level. Ask Paul Pogba. Go on his Twitter page right now. He's still got that World Cup picture as his profile. That is the pinnacle for them, right? So what I'm saying is,
people have different vibes.
No, of course they do. But I'm saying across the board, as a player, I'm sure if you went and asked the majority of them, are they willing to give up their international status to go and join some stupid ass Super League? Listen to what Ander Herrera said, right? He agrees that the Champions League format needs to be improved, right? Which I think a lot of us could agree with, but it's debatable. But what he's saying that there's no way he's going to give up his dream to play for Spain. It's not that deep for him. He's fell in love with the game.
You know what it is, though?
And the competition.
Where I'm coming from, right? And I think we're all agreeing the same thing. It's just different ways of thinking about it and different ways to look at it. For me, international competitions have been slowly just losing its attraction. When England play, no one's buzzing. Come off it. No one's like, I've got to get back home quickly to watch England.
They are when they wear the World Cup. In the World Cup, they are. The qualifiers, no one cares about. But the World Cup is the most watched sporting event in the world.
I'm not just talking about the World Cup. I'm not just talking about the World Cup, Sean. There's other international tournaments, right? I'm talking about other ones. I've talked about the Euro Leagues, all this stupidness, right? People aren't rushing home for that. So what I'm trying to say to you is that some players will be like, no, I need to play for my country. I need to get these caps 100%. But some players will be like, I'm not really fussed. Some players actually declare themselves unfit because they want to concentrate on the Champions League and be fit for their domestic league. Some people haven't got that drive.
Not the best.
That's what I'm saying. Some people haven't got the drive, but some people do.
I agree with you. But the best of the best, the Ronaldos, your Pogbas, your Messi, winning something for their country matters to them. That's a fact.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay.
We have another problem we have now is without those teams in the Super League, all the other teams they lose money, so the salary are
exactly.
Not
Exactly. So that's another hole because the salaries of the other teams, the income of the other teams comes down. The revenues, it just can't happen. Bro. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No, what I mean is that if, for example, the other teams they will lose money outside of the European Super League. So the salaries are not the same. So the players, as you said, they will really have the dilemma of money over country because now it is a massive gap in the salary. Because, for example, a player like Herrera was on 80,000 pounds a week. If he plays for Manchester United, if he plays for Leicester and the Super League happens, that salary is not the same. They don't have the same.
Oh, of course.
So now, if he gets an opportunity to play for a Super League team, the gap in salary will be very, very big. So now he will have to take that decision.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying for sure.
Football is very important. But now the dilemma is is a
This
bit.
is what
is
I'm
a
saying to Sean, because Sean, I get you saying, Sean, the pride of being the best player and want to do the World Cup stage. But at the same time, you need to go where the money is. Someone has come, right? This is why I keep calling it Hunger Games FC. Someone's come and completely said, no, this is our way. If you don't like it, you're going to basically get shot. Like, it's Hunger Games. You're going to basically, if you don't like it, get out of our way, because this is it. So all the players that are not in this ESL bubble are going to be losing their salaries, losing the draw, because obviously no one's going to watch it. The TV rights go, and all the money is getting sucked into this ESL. And then, but the one thing, right? The one thing that I can't figure out right now, not even figure out, I can't comprehend, is that how many people are going to watch the ESL? That's what I want to figure out, guys. In the comments, are you going to watch the ESL? And I want to get your honest thoughts. Manchester United are playing Real Madrid, right? It's a Tuesday night. You've had a good day at work or uni, whatever you're doing. You come home. Like, are you going to watch Real Madrid v Man United? Because it's the only way this can really break down is if no one watches it. But do you honestly think, and I'm going to ask Sean, I'm going to ask Adam, that people are not going to watch it? And I want to know your honest. I did a earlier tweet and said, are you going to watch Manchester United games if it comes on? 33% said yes, and the remaining said no. Be honest, Sean, will you watch the matches?
I don't think I'll be tuning into that rubbish. No chance, man.
So that means you're not watching any football, then.
I told you last night, Dom. I've got no desire to watch football if this is football. This is not football to me. This is bullshit. This is greed. This is nothing related to football. I'm not interested in it. Sorry, mate.
Adam?
Yeah, but if I have to pay to watch the games, if I have, for example, the Premier League, I have to pay the zone. I have to pay, for example, $150 a year to get all the Premier League games.
Yeah, the zone will be the right. It's 3 billion TV rights. 3.5 billion.
But if I have to pay to watch the games, I'm not paying. But if they are going on, I will follow. It's a sticky one. It really, really is an awkward one because.
I'm glad you're being honest, Adam. Because if you've got the zone already,
so what are you saying? I'm not.
Well, sorry.
No, exactly. That's the thing because I already have the zone.
But you haven't got the zone. Have you got the zone?
I wouldn't, but I don't. The thing is, I don't watch MLS and I don't watch the NHL because I don't like the format. I like a championship. I like 20 teams in the league fighting. Every game in the season matters, and I don't like the playoffs system. It's just a matter of taste, and I won't get excited for the games. I probably I'm never missing a United game unless I have an exam, for example.
Wow, rant, my man. If United do this, I'm walking away from football for 47 years of following. Honestly,
bro, it's done. It's done, man.
No, I can't.
I'm being honest with you, right? This is absolutely shaking the football atmosphere, and I just feel to myself that I love watching good football. I love it, but the games I love the most. It's when you don't know what's going to happen. It's when you're thinking to yourself, "Are we going to beat Roma? Who knows? Who knows if we're going to beat Roma?" You just don't know, and it counts for something. What's the point? What's the point in us playing Roma? Who cares? What does it mean? It means absolutely. And you know what the worst thing is that I've been trying to read about it, and they said that 5 teams could potentially qualify it, but we're not sure of how they would qualify. 5 teams out of all the leagues. Are you joking me?
It's a piss take. It's a piss take, man.
That is like. You go to Miami, you got a club, right? And you heard about this, that if you go to one of the big clubs in Miami, you don't get in if you're a guy, basically, right? You got to know them. And let me do this. You get in if you're a girl, but if you're a guy, you got to go up in a line in a circle, and they got to come over to you and look at you and see if you can come in. This is basically what it's like. It's literally, do you want to come into it? Nah, I don't think so. How on earth have they decided who can go into this league? How on earth? They know what we want to watch. They know that we want to watch AC Milan, Inter Milan, all this nonsense. And the worst thing, guys, the worst thing is that people are doing this thing. Borussia Dortmund's come in and say, we're not gonna join this in this weeks and so forth. We're not going to join this whole thing. I promise you right now, if more people join this tournament or this league, Borussia Dortmund will change their mind. I guarantee.
No, but Dom, Germany, their structure is different though, man. It's owned by the fans. So it's not. They can't just flip flop like that. The fans make the decision.
Bayern Munich might be doing it.
Yes, I think they might be something like that. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure.
Mate, there's been contradicting things about Bayern Munich, mate. Bayern Munich apparently are trying to. They're looking into it, mate. The last thing I saw.
the club might want to, but it comes down if their ownership and it's decided by the fans, then the fans will have to make that call.
I'll be honest with you, right? If it's the ESL, I don't know if I'll do a channel anymore. I'll be honest with you. Like, what's the point? The heart of it's gone. The heart of it's gone. What? Oh, guys, did you see that? Oh, that was great. Means nothing, no. Like, what? What do you mean? Like, what's the point? Like, what is the actual point? You know, how many people might lose their jobs as well. Like, pundits, people doing commentary. Like, it's going to be an elite. Like, people have to do their CVs. Gary Lineker's probably a bit scared. Gary Lineker's probably like, oh my gosh, I need to be really good because the game's turned into this like elite club where this gentleman's club. And I know they said, oh yeah, the women's one's going to follow next. That's just a little, dash it in there so we don't see.
I felt the same way.
Dash that little bit in there. Get off. Take the lemon out. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, it's turned into just an elite gentleman's club by Perez, who's probably one of the most. He's very talked about. I'm not going to say stuff, but he's not the best person in the queue. You got the Glazers, Kroenke. This ain't right. This ain't right. Sky Sports are afraid.
And just like with American sports,
huh?
Just like American sports, the regular season doesn't mean anything until the last few weeks because there are the playoffs. So you might miss the regular season game and you don't really care because at the end of the day, do you make the top 4, top 5? No, now you can qualify to play the other teams in the playoff, and it doesn't make any. That's why you have 82 games in the NHL and you have 82 games in the NBA because the games are pointless to a certain extent.
It's a waste of time, bro. It's a waste of time. It's not going to happen, guys.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't believe it will happen. I think they will be. I think they're leveraging some sort of deal to redistribute the money in a way that favors them somehow, and that they have I think they have the plan mapped out to the very end. And
of course,
and as we said, those are billionaire owners. Like for example, Stan Kroenke at Arsenal himself is worth I don't know how many billions, and I think his wife is the Walmart daughter.
Oh my gosh! Of course.
So, I mean, this is really. So they have the best people, the best lawyers. They have the best plan mapped out. But I think they're just leveraging something to make look. We can't be contributing that much and receiving this.
Yeah, that's it. The teams are basically going like, I'm Manchester United, I'm Arsenal, I'm Chelsea. We get all the viewers in for these games. If you're playing Chelsea v Brighton, it goes up. It goes up. If it's Burnley v Manchester United, it's a late kickoff for a reason. The schedule is for a reason. It's a power of association. Like if you're a Man City playing, I don't know, Brentford in an FA Cup, you know for a fact that it's going to get a bigger viewership. So they're saying to themselves, all these top 6 are saying to themselves, wait, we do all the groundwork, but we are losing money more than the bigger clubs because of how big our club is to maintain. We want to be guaranteed this money. We want to be guaranteed this money on a yearly basis. And so we've got nothing to worry about. This is why no one cares. This is why the Glazers and Woodward back Ollie. They don't have to care because Ollie's going to become insignificant. We don't need the best managers anymore. No. We don't even need the best managers. We don't need the best players anymore, really, because it's just for pride. It's a pride game. It's like literally go to the park and play. If you lose, it does not matter. It means nothing. Jasmine, to your question, bro. Dom, do you think this will actually happen, though? UEFA, FIFA eventually have to bow down to these clubs because most of the income comes from clubs. Yes, exactly that. Yes, the reason why I don't think this is going to happen, and I've kind of touched on it earlier, and I talked about it with Sean as well, is because I know they've done all this new website, all the thing. They've got all the lawyers. They've wrote up they haven't actually done contracts yet. They just wrote up how it'll look and who wants to be involved, a sign of intent. That's all worked up, right? But for me, there's too many roadblocks and too many negative ramifications and too much uproar from the fans for this to go through as it stands. It might be it might be a different iteration of it, but as it stands, this will never work out. It will never work out. The fans are the most important people in this, right? If the fans don't turn in, this falls. It completely falls because it comes down to sponsorship and working. If there's no game, sponsors don't work. So if the fans don't tune in, and all the Premier League clubs that are not in this thing start doing an uproar, and all the footballers start having an uproar, it falls. It completely falls. And for me, this is not going to happen as it stands because there's too many holes. It's unimaginable that the Premier League will have no 16s. Manchester United won't be in the Premier League next season or the Champions League, and none of the Manchester United players in the ESL will play for their national teams. It's just incomprehensible. It's unfathomable. It just doesn't make any sense, and that's why I don't think it's going to happen.
But I agree with you, Dom, and I don't think it will happen. But I have a few fears. I can't. I'm quite.
Go on, Adam. Talk to us, bro.
Why do you think? Tell me why you think it's going to happen, Adam.
Because, first, what scares me is in England, football is a culture. It's big in the UK. Football, it's very, very big, and it's not just the game. It's going to the game. It's going to the park. It's big. There's an environment around football that is not only the game in itself, but there's a whole thing around it. What I'm afraid of is I don't follow Spanish people. I only have UK people on my Twitter and North American people. I don't know how they feel about that in Spain. I don't know how they see it, their fan base. I don't know how they see it in Italy, their fan base, because I know that Barcelona are having a lot of trouble with the money. I know that AC Milan are having a lot of trouble with the money. Inter Milan,
so that's why they want it.
Yeah,
that's why they need it.
How their fan base feel about that? Maybe they have support. Maybe it's 50-50. For example, in the UK, I know that Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, we're all against it, and the fan bases are against it because there's more to it than just money. It is important to us. Liverpool, Arsenal, and United, especially big clubs, big traditions, absolutely huge clubs. But in other places, I don't know how they feel about it.
That's a very good point.
But I don't think,
and this is what Carl Lewis has said, Adam. To your point, really, really strong point, bro. Because I think sometimes as English fans, we get a little bit insular, and we're like thinking, if we feel like this, the whole world must feel like this. You know what? Reality check. English was a home of football, basically, right? It's a home of football. It was born and bred, and that's why we have this sort of this kind of sentimental romance to it. But as Carl Lewis here says, for all the UK fans that quit, fine. There are millions in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and USA who just love to be entertained and watch the best players.
And that was exactly my next point is what I'm afraid of are the neutral fans, because I live in Quebec, I live in Canada, and I have people, my friends, that are they like football, they enjoy it, but they don't watch it on the regular, and they watch the odd Champions League games. And I've seen a few people on Facebook just sharing the news and like, oh, just imagine Barcelona and Real Madrid they are gassed. they don't grasp it. They are gassed about it. They really don't grasp it. But those are the neutral fans that maybe they made, I don't know, they asked questions, they made questionnaires, and maybe there's a market for this around people who are not football fans that would love to be entertained.
Yes.
People don't talk because they are not football fan on the regular, and we don't know those we don't know them.
And then you know what? Guess what, Adam? With those people that casually watch football, that's a whole new acquisition. That's new people.
It's exciting for them.
It's new people that kind of watch cricket or rugby. They're like, oh, we've got Galacticos playing now. I might start watching for this.
Exactly.
It's not just the people that watch it week in, week out and go to Manchester United or Stoke on a rainy day. You've got casual people that can watch it from their living room or watch it as they've got a private pool. They just got the big screen. They're watching the players play. I think, Sean, we've forgotten that how big football actually is. It's not just England. It's not just our hardcore fan base. It's not just Liverpool, Manchester United. It's a global sport. And they must have seen that their potential. They might get an uproar from us on a little stream, but guess what? There's people all around the world that will pay this and enjoy it and think, wait a minute, I can't travel to Manchester United. I can't travel to Real Madrid. Guess what? I can watch them from the comfort of my living room. And that's why this could potentially work. It's the truth.
And that's why it's exactly. And that's why I don't think the fans are the reason why the fans' reaction and the fan sentiment is they don't care about that. That's not going to be a reason. That's not going to be a reason why it doesn't work. That's why I bring it back to the players, because about the players. They don't give a stuff about the fans and how we feel, because like you said, we will be replaced by all the new fans, all the neutral fans all around the world. It's bigger than us. It's about the players, and that's why you're seeing both sides trying to leverage the players. They're going to dangle the carrot to the players. Here's all this money. Your salaries are going to go up. You come and join for us. We treble your salaries. Come and play in this utopia. You're going to join this elite club. Of the status is going to raise because it's this elite closed off league, the Super League. You're going to be the top of the top in this exclusive club. That's the carrot for the players. But on the other hand, the UEFA and FIFA are like, well, if you go over there, we're taking your chance to play for your national team away from you. Because that's the only leverage they got. So for me, it's not about the fans. They don't give a shit about us. We're not powerful enough to stop it.
No.
It's going to
Got
come
the
down to
players.
the players,
Yeah, it's true.
and
Yes,
and
yes,
that's why the players are being leveraged.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think you're making a good point here, Sean, that the players and the top managers, if they make a stand, they take away the attraction from the neutral. For example, if Neymar decides he doesn't play, I know a few people that wouldn't watch, for example. See? So I stand with you on this, Sean. Players and big managers have to do something. They have to condemn this.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Even Chris is saying here that Super League owners are looking to secure broadcasters like Amazon, Facebook, Disney, and Comcast. That would raise revenues to 4 billion, twice the revenues of the Champions League. And here, Carl Lewis bringing up some serious points today, as well as everybody else as well. The Glazers refer to UK fans as legacy fans, guys. If you know what legacy means,
That's
if you
it.
don't know what legacy means,
Outrageous.
legacy is not a good word.
That is disgusting.
No,
How-
but
what are you
it's
talking about? We're
outrageous.
still here.
I consider myself a UK fan. I can't lie.
Basically, legacy, right? Is when
Legacy
you go to a party. I'm trying to do this right nice. You go to a party, and you weren't really supposed to go, but you knew someone who was going. So you're like, yeah, I'll come with you, Joe. You go to the party, no one knows you, right? And people are dancing. They come back 3 hours later, and you're still there. You're like, why are you still here? That's what legacy fans mean. You've been here, you're good, but you're basically in the past. You've created a legendary status, and you're cool, you're nice. Now the future, we move forward.
Bro, it's like software, man. We're on, what are we now? Windows 10, right? But they're basically trying to say that the UK fans are. Remember Windows 97? We're Windows 97. We're old. We're last year's news. We don't matter anymore. We don't care about that. We're onto the new thing, bro. How disrespectful can you get?
This is very condescending.
That is. I'm in disbelief, guys. This is serious. I don't know what the timeline on this is. Every time I see a tweet, someone's left. Edward Woods left this. Edward Woods left that. Jurgen Klopp's talking right now. For me, the Champions League is the Super League, in which you do not always end up playing against the same teams. So look, everyone wants to say it, but they don't want to say it. It's all cryptic because no one wants to come out against this big institution. Again, it's the Matrix. It's the Hunger Games, man. And guess what? Guess how the Hunger Games, how the people in the Hunger Games, if you haven't watched that film, trust me, go and watch it. They revolt. The people that are the workers that do the farms, that make the medicine and stuff, the only way they stop the bigger people is by revolting, by stop doing this, by stop working. It comes down to the players. If the players go on strike, it does happen. You can't play football by yourself. Like literally.
That's it. They can't do it.
You can't do it.
This is just a money thing, and this is outrageous. For example, the thing that I really don't get is Man City being in there. I can't I can't understand Manchester City being in this, because I know they're a rich club. I know they are a good club, but they are nowhere near they are not a big club to me. For example, Liverpool. For me, Liverpool is the biggest rival. I can't stand Liverpool, but I respect Liverpool.
They're a legacy club.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But I respect Liverpool. I have respect for them. But Man City, I don't have any ounce of respect for Man City. They are just, I don't know, and they are here as a founding club. This is outrageous.
You know what? The last bit, we've got a couple of minutes left, guys. This is crazy, right? Jose Mourinho's been sacked. So this should normally, on any other day, we'll be like, oh my God, Jose Mourinho's been sacked again after 17 months. It's completely dissolved. We didn't even talk about the game that much yesterday. 3-1. Who cares? Who cares about the game? How do you feel about Jose being sacked, Sean? 17 months. All Spurs fans like, yeah, fantastic. Rubbish.
Yeah, just on that, before we go into that, did you hear what they're trying to say, that all the clubs, they want Man United, Arsenal to be banned from the Europa League this season?
Yeah.
And all the champions immediately banned. So we don't even know if we're going to play a game next week.
This is what I mean.
How do you? It's crazy, but yeah, going back to Jose, like I feel like, for me, yeah, if I was a chairman, I would have sacked him a long time ago because he's been atrocious. I wouldn't even have hired him. Like, I looked at when Levy hired him, I was quite shocked, because for me there was no fit there. For me, the red flags have been on the wall with Jose probably since as Madrid, but I think definitively his second spell at Chelsea, the way that ended, for me, you could see that he was done. And when we brought him in, it was kind of like, well, maybe he's still got it, and maybe, but I think he proved without a doubt, if you weren't convinced after Chelsea, you had to be convinced with what he did with us and the way it ended. And I think for him, I was speaking to some guys in my group earlier, that he's a victim for me of his own success and his own ego.
Oh,
And I feel as though that is what's killing him now. He's 58 years old. He's been so successful in his time. He's not going to change his ways. And I feel like the ways that worked for him in the past, it's not working now. It's clear to see. It's a different game. He hasn't evolved. He hasn't adapted. The thing that made Sir Alex so great is that he adapted over time and over generations, his approach and his style to management. Jose is still trying to use the same management skills, the same tactic, the same everything that was successful for him. And he can't see behind his own bullshit. And for me, that is why, for me, he's done as a football manager at the top level. He was done after he left us, and Tottenham gave him a job. It was a risk. It's backfired massively. And, he's got another big 20 million payout compensation. He's chilling. And the crazy thing is, I think someone will give him another job. But for me, I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. He shouldn't get another job in football.
Yeah, I don't even know where you get a barge pole from, but yeah, I get you, bro. Adam, what are you saying?
For Jose, Jose is probably the person I dislike the most in the whole of world football, if I'm being completely honest. I really can't stand Jose Mourinho. I can't watch the interviews when he talks, and I follow a YouTube channel on Instagram of someone, I think his name's Connor, and he does impressions, and I can't even listen to him doing impressions. This is how far he got with me. Because, as you know, Dom and Sean, I'm not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's biggest fan. I don't think he's good enough for the United job. But with Solskjaer, I just watch the football. It's not personally with him.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't have anything against him. Actually, he's a likable man. With Jose, I have a really, really strong problem because he's very, very sneaky in what he does, and he's successful. He's a great manager, but I know he's a great manager. But my problem with him is that he came to Manchester. He was. For example, he came to Manchester United not to add to Manchester United's trophy cabinet, but he added Manchester United to his own resume. And that to start with, I couldn't agree with that. And then we have the Sevilla, when we lost to Sevilla, and he stood and he said that he knocked us down with Real Madrid, and then he knocked us out. That was the breaking point for me. I couldn't get back from that. And then we had the Munich disaster Remembrance Day. He came with a hoodie and some running shoes, showing absolutely no respect to his great predecessors, and that I cannot stand. I cannot accept that. I cannot accept that. Showing no respect to the tradition, insulting the clubs again and again and again. And like Sean said, I felt it was weird when Levy hired him. But Levy is as much as a sneaky man as Jose, and he sacked him just before the League Cup final. So that Jose cannot brag about being the first manager to win a trophy for Spurs in X time and how many months. I have to respect. I stand with Levy on this one. I stand with Levy.
Would you have done the same though? Would you take the trophy?
For example, sorry.
So would you have done the same as Levy, or would you have rather get the trophy? Because I think there's a good chance that Jose could have beaten City.
A cup final, you never know. So I probably would have done the same as Levy.
Because it's almost like cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Yeah, but cup finals mean nothing. It's all illusion, bro. It's the Matrix. It doesn't mean anything anymore, man. Cup finals.
This Super League's not happening, bro. I'm not believing that. It's not happening.
I'm knocking on.
It's going to continue.
Have you seen Matrix, Adam? When there's that guy is like, I know it's fake, but I love it, so I'm gonna stay.
No, I haven't watched that. I haven't watched it.
Sure.
Bro, that's me right now, man. I'm not having it. This can't happen to my game.
There's a film called Matrix. I agree with you. They're all living in an artificial world. They're all hooked up and basically feeding this big machine, this artificial intelligence machine. And they think their life's real, but it's not. They're just literally in some water tub. They got a thing in the back of their neck, and they're just feeding a machine, right? And people outside the Matrix are realizing they're trying to fight back, right? But there's some people that realize that not in they're around the Matrix, but they're like, no, I love it, man. I love the food. I love the chicken. The people are like, wait, it's not real. It's like, this tastes real to me. Sean's like, I don't believe it's gonna happen.
Bro, plug me back in, man. I need to get back in there. Plug me back in, mate.
Plug me back in.
No,
this can't happen. Because I'm telling you, if it does, football for me is done. It's done.
Guys, thank you so much for joining. Sean, Adam, I appreciate you boys so
Thank you
much.
very much for having me
Let's
on.
just stick together and hope this just doesn't happen. When you got Prince William talking about it, Boris Johnson, you know they mean business. They mean business. So, guys, thank you so much for joining. Whenever you watch this, like the video, subscribe if you're new, turn that notification bell on. I appreciate you as always. Thank you, boys, as always. Have a beautiful evening. Peace out. A-Town down. Good.